You're lying in bed at 11 p.m. scrolling through your phone when suddenly you're buying a $47 gadget you've never heard of. Sound familiar? Well, you just fell victim to what psychologists call the most expensive 15 seconds of your day. And here's the thing that'll blow your mind. 43% of people are most likely to make impulse purchases while shopping in bed. But before you think this is just about willpower, let me tell you something that might change how you see every purchase you've ever made. The average person spent over $3,300 on things they didn't plan to buy in 2025. That's more than most people's rent. And get this, 89% of us have bought something on impulse. But here's where it gets really wild. 9% of impulse shoppers can't even remember how much they spent on their last impulse purchase. Your brain literally blocks out the financial pain. But why does this happen to smart, rational people like you? The answer lies in a discovery that completely changed how scientists understand human behavior, and it has nothing to do with what you think. Most people think dopamine is released when you get what you want. Wrong. Here's what actually happens in your brain. Scientists did this experiment with monkeys. They trained them to press a lever for a treat. But here's the shocking part. The dopamine wasn't released when they got the treat. It was released the moment they heard the signal that a treat was coming. This is why 76% of people are more excited when their online purchases arrive than when they buy something in-store. You're literally addicted to the anticipation, not the product. And companies know this. Ever notice how online stores make you wait just long enough after clicking buy before confirming your order? That's not accidental. They're hijacking your dopamine system. But there's something even more sinister happening. You walk into a store and see a $200 jacket next to a $50 shirt. Suddenly, that shirt feels like a bargain. Congratulations, you just experienced anchoring bias. But here's what's really happening in your brain. Your brain takes that first price, $200, and uses it as a reference point for everything else. This happens in milliseconds before you're even aware of it. Research shows we're about 2.5 times more motivated by avoiding losses than gaining something of equal value. That's why you see only 3 left in stock, or 24 hours only, everywhere. It's not about scarcity, it's about loss aversion. Your brain is screaming, don't lose this opportunity, even though you didn't want the item 5 seconds ago. And if you think you're immune to this, here's a reality check. 60% of people make purchases within 24 hours due to FOMO. But wait until you hear about the social media trap. 48% of social media users have bought something just because they saw it in their feed. But here's the psychology behind why this works so well. Your brain has a built-in shortcut. If other people like it, it must be good. This made sense when we lived in small tribes, but now companies exploit this with fake reviews, inflated popularity metrics, and something called manufactured social proof. Ever see 1,000 people are looking at this item? Most of the time, it's completely fabricated. But your ancient brain doesn't know that. It just sees, everyone else wants it, I should want it too. This is why Gen Z is 72% more likely to purchase based on social proof compared to older generations. They've grown up in this artificial social pressure cooker. But the scariest manipulation is yet to come. You'd think more choices would make you happier, right? Wrong. Psychologists call this the paradox of choice, and it's making you buy things you don't need in the weirdest way possible. When your brain gets overwhelmed by too many choices, it does something fascinating. It starts making shortcuts. And one of those shortcuts is, when in doubt, buy something rather than nothing. This is why Amazon's recommended for you section is so effective. They're not giving you more choices. They're reducing decision fatigue by pre-selecting what they think you want. Your exhausted brain says, thank you, and clicks buy. Studies show that after making just a few unrelated decisions, people are 40% more likely to make impulse purchases. Your willpower is literally running out like a battery. But here's the technique that might be the most powerful of all. Ever notice how car salespeople let you take the car home for the weekend? Or how companies offer 30-day free trials? They're triggering something called the endowment effect. The moment you feel like you own something, even if you don't, your brain starts overvaluing it. Companies exploit this by making you feel ownership before you actually buy. Virtual try-ons, personalization, even letting you save items to your wish list. It's all designed to make you feel like you already own it. Once your brain thinks something is yours, giving it up feels like a loss. And remember, your brain hates losses 2.5 times more than it likes gains. So you end up buying things just to avoid the pain of losing them. But here's what companies don't want you to know about breaking free from all of this. Now that you know these psychological triggers, you can actually use them to your advantage. Here's how to turn the tables. First, the 24-hour rule. When you feel the urge to buy something, wait 24 hours. Remember, dopamine peaks during anticipation, so you're literally in a drug-like state when you want to make that purchase. After 24 hours, that dopamine crash will give you clarity. Second, convert the price to hours worked. That $47 gadget, if you make $20 an hour, that's 2.4 hours of your life. Suddenly, it doesn't feel like such a bargain. Third, make it harder to buy. Delete shopping apps. Unsubscribe from promotional emails. Remove saved payment methods. The goal is to add friction between the impulse and the purchase. And here's the most powerful technique. Practice the abundance mindset. Instead of thinking, I might never find this again, remind yourself, there will always be other opportunities. Because there will be. The next time you're lying in bed at 11 p.m. about to buy something you don't need, remember, you're not weak, you're human. And you're up against billion-dollar companies that employ teams of psychologists to hack your brain. But now you know their playbook. Every scarcity message, every social proof notification, every personalized recommendation, you can see it for what it really is. A psychological trigger designed to bypass your rational thinking. The most expensive purchase you'll never make is the one you don't need but buy anyway. Your future self will thank you for watching this video. If this opened your eyes to how your mind really works, subscribe for more psychology insights that'll change how you see the world. And hey, try that 24-hour rule on your next impulse. You might be surprised by what happens.